In 2012, the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, Georgia, contacted the Willo Products Company to help address a problem that most detention facilities throughout the U.S. experience. The inmates were popping the locks, getting out of their cells and attacking officers or other inmates.
Very important to understand that under the right conditions, any inmate can learn the trick of getting out of a cell. And once they are out, inmates can jump officers or other inmates unexpectedly, causing a very serious situation. The first way to trick a lock is to use a t-shirt, bed sheet, sock, or other piece of material. The inmate tears off a strip, ties a knot in the end, and then stuffs the knot in the receiver as the door is being closed. The sheet allows the latch bolt to travel far enough to engage the door, but not far enough for the lock to deadlock. The knot pushes the latch bolt in, and the door pops open. Now you have an incident about to occur. Second, inmates can stuff the receiver full of debris, such as a toothpaste cap, toilet paper, or a piece of cloth. This prevents the lock from deadlocking. A fellow inmate passes a cloth under the door and slips it up the lock bolt. Using a sawing motion, the two inmates are able to force the lock bolt in, pop the door open, and the inmate comes out. A third way to pop the lock is by stuffing the receiver or putting something over the receiver, such as a piece of cloth or paper, to prevent the lock bolt from fully extending and deadlocking. Then, as the inmate closes the cell door, a piece of mattress cord is looped around the lock bolt. When the time is right, the inmate pulls the cord from inside his cell, pops the door open, and exits the cell.
Working closely with the Fulton County Jail, Willo developed a new product called the Wedge that helped control and prevent this serious problem. Test units were installed, and inmates who had previously popped their locks open were offered incentives if they could defeat the new wedge and get out of their cells. None were able to do so. The latest enhancement from Willo is the gripper.
How does the gripper prevent these things from happening? First, the gripper surrounds the lock bolt on three sides, protecting it from any foreign object that might be slipped from above or below. The gripper actually stops the material before it can reach the lock bolt. If the inmate cannot get to the lock bolt, they cannot pop the door open. Second, it grips the cloth or cord when the door is closed. The object is wedged in the blade of the gripper, making it almost impossible for the inmate to pull it out. When pulled hard enough, the cord or cloth breaks and his attempt fails.
So how can the wedge and the gripper help you? Well, first, you can convert a minimum security door with a 2-inch lock into a maximum security door with a 5-inch lock. Second, if you already have a 5-inch lock, the existing door and frame can be modified to add the gripper and the light, increasing the security of your door. Third, if you're building a new facility, you can have the gripper and light incorporated in the new doors and frames for very little additional cost. Hundreds of murders, fights, and riots are happening in jails and prisons every year. Millions of dollars are being spent by county, state, and federal governments to investigate and prosecute these violent crimes. Much of this violence can be prevented by taking away the ability of inmates to get out of their cells. The Willo Wedge and the Willo Gripper are two innovations proven to be effective in reducing this violence. If you have experienced similar issues at your facility and you want to learn more about these products, contact Willo to help evaluate your needs and develop a solution. Willo Products, the safe choice.